Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mitch from Mitch Reviews Everything, and this is my review for Devil's Vendetta from 1991 from the Rising Sun Film Company out of Hong Kong. It was directed by Hoi-Ching Cheung. It stars Charlotte Cheung Man as Mandy, Vivian Chow as Tracy, and Nieh as Leo Chun. Now, to start off by saying this movie is a hell of a lot of fun. It's a sci-fi mix of fantasy, sci-fi, and kung fu all wrapped in one. You know, the kind that were coming out of Hong Kong that had sparklers everywhere and light beams coming out of people's hands to simulate magic. And basically, this movie is about a demon named Twiggy that is attempting to take over the earth. At the beginning of the film, Twiggy is in a cave and there is a group of monks trying to keep Twiggy at bay. However, they make a deal with the devil, and the head monk decides to allow the demon to eat his heart. Twiggy promises he won't try to take over the earth. However, by eating the heart of the monk, the Twiggy, which is in the form of a man demon, eventually, or at that very moment, turns into a female demon, double crosses them, and starts to attempt to take over the earth. However, a golden Buddha from the sky comes down and squashes Twiggy's plans thus far. The next scene, we see an old female master and her child, student Mandy, and the old master is telling about Twiggy and how Twiggy is waiting for the 7 stars to align so the demon daughter can be put on the earth. And eventually, when Twiggy can get a hold of the demon daughter and they combine, the door of evil will be open, and Twiggy will be able to take over the earth. However, the old master is cunning and has a plan. She plans on capturing the demon daughter so they can keep her far, far away from Twiggy. But you know, as they note in the film, things work pretty fast, and lo and behold, the 7 stars align and the egg is formed. And they go and they get the demon daughter out of the egg so they can keep her far away from Twiggy. And the rest of the movie skip about 20 or so years into the future. You see the demon daughter, who is played by Vivian Chow. Her now name is Tracy. And we find out that Tracy is being forced to marry a man, and basically marry a man so she can lose her virginity, which apparently will take away any demon power she might have had that Twiggy could have utilized to take over the earth. And they have the perfect man lined up, who is played by Nieh. He is supposed to be the lucky guy who's supposed to marry Tracy. However, things aren't going to work out because Nieh has absolutely no interest in getting married. He just wants to continue to practice being a monk. And kind of funny, he actually is trying to practice to be a monk so he can destroy evil, which if he would only known that he only had to marry this girl, he could have destroyed evil, I guess, on their honeymoon. And the movie has basically a tone of there's 2 schools. There's an all-man school where Nieh is a member and Vivian Chow Tracy is a member. And basically the 2 rival schools who are apparently in the same town are going against each other, basically competing, I guess, to see who is the better monks at fighting off evil. And it leads into, you know, the finale where they fight Twiggy and so forth. I won't reveal anything else. I'll leave the plot where it lies so you can enjoy the rest of the movie yourself if you plan on watching it. Now, I will say about this film, though I liked it, this film could have been far better. The movie, like I said, there's this rivalry going on between the 2 all-male and the all-female monk schools. And instead of focusing on fighting off demons more, they focus more on this rivalry. And I feel like they could have absolutely maybe had it more focused on fighting off demons. Maybe had Twiggy have a couple more battles. Maybe had Twiggy take over some of the students or possess them or have other demons involved in this film. It kind of just absolutely lulls. There is a nice scene where Nieh's master, they fight off this cockroach demon type thing that turns into a woman. That's a really cool, notable scene. But there's just not enough of that. I mean, you get that, but I just feel like they could have done so much more instead of focusing on this inner rivalry or whatever, neighborly feud between the 2 schools, instead of just focusing on fighting demons. Because of that, I can't say that this is a great Hong Kong fantasy film or fighting demon film, however you want to put it, but it's pretty good. It's very... There's a little, it's not supposed to be taken seriously. There's a lot of comedy. There's a lot of dated comedy in this film. You can watch it and find out for yourself about that. But it's just one of those films that I feel like there was a total miss. But it's still a heck of a lot of fun. The demon, the effects, the fact, if you like any sort of these old Hong Kong fantasy, supernatural-esque type films, you're gonna like this one. It's a lot of fun, but clearly not the best. Now, as far as the martial arts in this film, this one's really not too martial arts focused. There's a couple fights, but it's nothing of note. This one obviously is more effects based, and all the colorful, sparkly kind of effects that come with these old, these 90s or late 80s kind of films, where it's just a bunch of light beams coming out of people's hands. If you like any of those old kind of fantasy, Hong Kong fantasy films with a bunch of basically dated effects to watch just for the kick, just for the hell of it, you're gonna like this one. Like I said, it does lull, but just the fact that if you're into any type of like horror, Hong Kong horror, or these old fantasy films, you'll enjoy it, but I don't think you're gonna love it. It's not the best movie in the genre, but it's a solid watch at least once. Now, if you're looking to buy this film, it's going to be a hard one to get your hands on. This is a rare film to get your hands on. It was released in at least 2 DVD packaging, one from Taiwan and one from Malaysia. You can find them out there for roughly about $20, depending on if you're in the US, it'll probably cost you about $10 to get it shipped from Taiwan or Malaysia. But you can, in fact, get your hands on a copy of this. You can find this one on YouTube if you just wanted to watch it for free. But yeah, if you're looking to buy this one, yeah, it's going to be a tough go. In fact, I only saw literally the places that were selling it. I saw a copy on eBay on DVD. There was only one on all of eBay. So it's going to be a tough go. But it is out there if you want to purchase it and check it out. And it comes in a subtitled version, is the version I watched. And, watching it once, it's worth watching just for the scenes with Twiggy. If you're into any of the Hong Kong fighting demons thing, those are the notable scenes. There wasn't really any standout scenes in there. There was a few appearances of a Jiangxi in this film, but nothing spectacular. The Jiangxi appearing in this film almost makes me feel like I should buy a copy of this just for my Jiangxi library, but I'm not totally sure on that. Well, everybody, that's all I got for you. This was my review for Devil's Vendetta from 1991. I will see you again.